guys, welcome to another episode of Connecting the Bridges with Timah and Cissy. And today we are going to dive right into the elections 2024. Elections are over. Some people are happy, some people are sad. But you know what? I want to know what our brothers and sisters on the continent think about the elections.
Africans are reacting to Donald Trump's 2024 presidential election win. Watch this clip, we'll come back and discuss.
On the streets of Nairobi, some Kenyans told VOA Donald Trump's victory in the US election was going to be a good thing for Africa.
I'm expecting a lot to see happening between the two countries, economy-wise, maybe exchange programs for students and stuff like that.
Eric Mwanda was rooting for Trump's Democratic opponent, Vice President Kamala Harris.
Because she understands the people. I feel like the other one is a bit too racist.
I think my thoughts, it's so fun. But one thing before I get into my thoughts, let me tell you, Africans, man, they know how to make a party out of everything. When they were showing those people going down the street partying for Trump, I was dancing along. I was dancing along with them. Not to say that I'm for or against, but it's just that everything is a party. Like you could be like the devil coming to life or something, and everybody would be like, the devil coming to life. And
that's
they would be like,
the African churches, girl. We be
man, let me tell you. Side note, African churches be lit, okay?
Yes.
It's like, if you want to have a good time, go to an African church. But also, I digress. Okay, so my thoughts on it is, I think Africa just represents the world and America as well. There's going to be people on either side of the spectrum. There's going to be people for Trump, and there's going to be people against Trump. So wherever you are on the spectrum, just remember that, you know, he's not going to be in office forever. Some people love that. Some people will hate it. And that's the wonderful thing about the U.S. presidency. You only have 4 to 8 years, depending on, you know, when you get elected. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's just kind of like, live your life and do the best thing you can. And for Africans, I wasn't surprised that there were people for Trump, because Trump actually, there's a lot of conservative people that follow Trump. And Africans tend to be very religious and very conservative in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. Like, even though we have a good time, we party, but I mean, most people know that Africans, like, they are for their churches, their mosques, or whatever, like they, you know, believe in.
But and some of them don't put it out there, like their beliefs that Trump believes in. You know, they don't want to, I don't know, they feel like they're going to get shamed on, you know. I don't know.
I think they're more outspoken about it. You just won't see it on the videos. They're very outspoken about how they feel about, you know, a lot of conservative views. So yes.
You love Donald Trump. If I should be in America, I will vote him.
There is a saying in Nigeria, a wealthy man will always have followers.
I would like to visit Nigeria. There's no country more beautiful.
Nearly 60%
African style.
Where did he say this?
As president, he reportedly referred to African nations as shithole countries.
Did you address his reported comments from earlier this year when he reportedly used vulgar language to describe African nations?
Well, the best thing for me is to keep quiet. We didn't discuss it. And you do have some countries that are in very bad shape.
As the U.S. election approaches,
true. He said it's in bad shape.
Very bold and confident.
A strong-willed person, he knows what he wants, he stands by it and he goes for it.
In Nigeria, precisely, people like me, Donald Trump is our choice. Donald Trump has that very charisma to talk people into agreeing with what is right. Well, the prophecy has already been given before now that God is not done with Donald Trump. Well, that is why he needs
it's true.
The major prophet to step in and talk to him into his ears.
His prophecy came to pass. It came true.
I said,
he's going to get more people coming in there.
Exactly. Here we go.
As the spectacle of the election plays out in America, Nigerians are watching closely. In this culturally and religiously diverse nation, support for Trump is far from...
Totally agree to like some extent, especially when it comes to traditional family. They're all about that. You know, in this world today, you're seeing all types of families, and I have nothing against all types of families, but it's like you're seeing less and less of a traditional family. And I know that's what Africans are all about, traditional family and the bluntness. I remember Trump made a comment about Africa being a shithole. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember that.
Yes, remember when he was in power. And he, at first when he said it, people really thought he meant like, damn, Africa's a shithole, it's the most dirtiest place in the world. No, you have to dig deep. He's talking about the corruption, the corrupted leaders, you know, how they just dwindle the funds. The poor people are becoming poorer, the richer are becoming rich. So that's what in my opinion, that's what he meant by African being a shithole. And that's one of the reasons I think Africans are for Trump too, the bluntness. He speaks from, I mean, that's basically how he feels.
He's very harsh.
Very harsh. And
he's very harsh.
Harsh.
Yes. Right up their alley. They'll tell you the truth in your face.
Exactly. They're not going to sugarcoat it. So yeah, so that's I can see why some relate to him and some don't relate, you know. So but yeah, that's my take on it. Did you see the part when he was speaking when the journalist asked him about the remark?
I love that
response?
That was so he glossed over that question so quickly. What he said? What was the thing that he said? Well, it's best to not speak about things. He said something about that. And
yeah, we're not gonna go back there. Of course, because the Nigerian president was right there. You know, he ain't gonna want to embarrass him. But that was funny, the way that question came up and his response was. And do you remember when he was invited by, I want to say the NAACP on, basically they wanted to know more about him as a candidate at the time before he won, and he spoke about Kamala Harris' ethnicity. So he was like, well, is she Black or is she Indian? Because I know
I'm sorry, I don't want to sound like, you know, I'm not sympathetic to things. I am. It's just how ridiculously blunt, and he just said he's one of those friends that doesn't have a filter. You have friends like that that don't have a filter. He's one of those guys.
Straight up.
Like they just say what, and he said that, my mouth just dropped because I know he's going to create a lot of enemies.
No, there was like quiet in the room. Quiet among people was like, damn, you could not hear a pin drop when he said that. When he asked that question.
And he says some of the most wildest things, like when he was talking about they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats.
Oh my gosh,
I was just like, what? It's so wild that it's funny to me.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me laugh all the time. But
this guy
that's
is really,
the way it is.
He's going to be our 47th president again. Wow.
Well, you know,
let's get
sit
ready.
back and enjoy the ride or move away from America. I don't know. Whatever you decide in your life.
Some people already started doing. Some people started packing their business and just making plans to move. I mean,
let us know in the comments. But while you're doing that, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for joining us. See you next time. Bye.
Bye. See you later.